Me about that, how you became the first member of So Solid Crew and your passion for music.
Yeah, gave a little MC, did a little 1-2 MC, and then the crowd went crazy.
So Solid Crew's most well-known song's 21 Seconds.
Yeah, great. 21 seconds, it works out.
And it's actually incredible that you say that, because I was reading about So Solid Crew and the amount of negative press publicity. It almost seemed like it had, like, they were trying to push a narrative.
Of course.
Of So Solid.
Of course.
So,
do you know, at the time I didn't understand it, but now I can.
So Mac, thank you so much for coming onto the platform.
Thank you for having me.
So you are one of the founding members of So Solid Crew.
Yeah, first member.
First member?
Yeah, first member, exact.
So before we start going into the questions, please tell me about that, how you became the first member of So Solid Crew and your passion for music.
Yeah, sure. It started in like 1997. I was living in an apartment with a DJ PDS. He's the first DJ for So Solid Crew. He was a DJ. I had some friends that was on a radio station already. They were popular, like they were dominating London, South London at the time. Stone Cold Crew. Yeah, big up Stone Cold Crew all day. You hear me? I gotta big them up. So we just muck about in the house. I used to just MC with them. They said, "Yo, your voice is crazy. You need to come to the radio station." I kept bottling it for a while, and then there was an event in Camberwell Green. So I went to the event, and they passed me the mic, and I just gave a little MC, did a little 1-2 MC, and then the crowd went crazy. And the promoter of the rave was like, "Wow, do you know what? You need to come to the radio station on Sunday." So I said, "Thought." I went down, did a show, went all right. But he's like, "I want to bring you next week, but have you got a DJ?" So I sat back and I thought, I haven't got a DJ, but I know a DJ I live with. I'm not sure if he's going to be up for it, but I asked him. We went down to the radio station the following Sunday. That was it. We started shutting down about 3 weeks. Three weeks in a row, we shut it down, just me and DJ PDS. And then he came to me and he was like, "Yo, bro, we need to bring in Mega, man. We need to bring in Mega." This time he was just called Mega at the time. He said, "We need to bring in Mega. Like, he's cold. He's cold. He's cold. He's cold." We was in different circles at the time. Even though we're from the same area, we went to the same primary schools and stuff. We're from different circles. I was a bit, my circle was a bit older than Mega's circle, even though we're just a few years apart. So it took some convincing for me to say, "Yeah, let's do it." After a couple of times, PDS came to me and said, "Yo, let's do it. Let's get Mega in, get Mega in." After a while, I just said, "You know what, let's do it." And tell you the truth, it was one of the best decisions I made, because Mega brought something to the table that a lot of people may not have brought at the time. Because where I'm from, in my era, music was shone upon to a degree. Because we all come out, we're rude boys, we're bad boys. Music, for bad boys and rude boys, the guys that do music, they're not bad boys and rude boys. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we didn't look at music guys as popular and the in thing. We looked at them as nothing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So when I did music, it was a big transition. Like, everybody was like, "Wow, what's wrong with him?" It was like I had a disease. It was like, "What's wrong with him? Why is he doing music? Bad man turning doing music." He's like, he can't be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It was a lot of people couldn't have made the type of moves we made at that time. You know what I mean? Because I had certain families in certain areas that we was working in. Mega had family in certain areas that we were working. So it kind of just patterned up things nicely. Then PDS came again and said, "Yo, we need Romeo. We need Romeo. Romeo's cold. He's doing raves on his own anyway." So we brought in Romeo, and then it was just the three of us, like a duo. And that was us for a good year, solid year. Mega Man, Romeo, Mac, Mega Man, Romeo. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to the intro on the Soul Solid album, you hear in the begin is Mega Man MAC, PDSMG. That's how the song, but it's flipped around, but that's the truth right there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's how we got into the Soul Solid thing, and that's how it really started. It kicked off, and we just took it by storm. You know what I mean? And originally we was called SOS.
Okay.
Save Our Souls.
Okay.
That was my name. I made that name up. Basically, it was trying to have a transition from where we were. We're from the street. We're from a dark place. You know what I mean? We on my landing every day. You get up and you open your front door. There's crackheads walking past. They know you by first name. It's just normal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's normal in your state. So save our souls. SOS. You know what I mean? Save our souls. We're trying to save our souls and get out of it. You know what I mean? And start something bigger and try and change something for everybody else.
I think that's incredibly powerful what you're saying, because you're talking about, your background, where you've come from. What kind of gave you like the courage to continue sticking with the music thing when everybody else was saying, "Oh, you don't fit that mold"? But
do you know what? If you know me, I'm quite an innovator. I'm always looking for something new. Always looking for something new. Always pushing for something new. So it came. There came a point in life when you're getting in so much trouble on the streets. It's not looking good for you to a degree, and this opportunity just got presented to you. You know what I mean? So you got nothing to lose by trying this opportunity, and then you can start seeing a format build. You know what I mean? Because we've come from making money before the music. Do you understand? So when you're making money before the music, you got a street smart, you got a ethical smart about you know what I mean? So you know how to move and know how to maneuver with money. So it made us do things that other teams weren't doing. Like going and getting an office. At a young age, we got an office and we started doing other stuff, you know what I mean? And hiring people. And when you came into our office, it was stacked with records from the ceiling to the ceiling. So it just showed us another avenue how to make some legitimate money without having to put yourself in risk and do all the type of stuff and affect somebody's life or affect your own life. You know what I mean?
I really like that, and you've inspired so many people, including Get Out and Black Panther actor Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
So please just tell me. So please just tell me about what it means to you when you're inspiring all of these influential people. It's not just him; it's also the likes of Kano, Wiley, all of these people.
I know, but I believe, you know what? I can sit here and say, yeah, we know we've done this, we've done that. I wish I will at some point in this interview, but at the same time, I'm gonna say I believe we all play part of it. Black Panthers played a big part in my life. In most of our lives, and my friends, and we, you know what I mean? So I think it's all hand in hand, you know what I mean? So I thank them, but I also got to say, you know what, big up to you too, you know what I mean? Because you done things. But for us, or for myself, I can talk as being an inspiration to people, especially where we're from, seeing people from the ghetto and knowing so much people. I've seen people go and spend 10 years in prison and come out, and in that time we was doing our thing. From the beginning they were doing nothing. Prison, we was doing nothing. When they've come out of prison, they've seen Soul Solid and they've changed their whole lifestyle. When they've come out of prison, they've tried to like go and achieve something now, you know what I mean? So we've inspired people to just think different altogether and want more for themselves and want more for their families, and like thinking about generational income, and do you know what I'm saying?
That's really, really powerful. And one of Cecily Cruz's most well-known songs, 21 Seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got millions upon millions of views now. But please tell me about the whole story, about how you came up with the whole track.
The story, it's a funny, do you know what, it was a funny story because G-Man, I've got to big up G-Man, my brother, all day. G-Man from Soul Solid. G-Man, he's an undercover genius. When it comes to money and numbers, G-Man is a genius. From before the music, everybody know this way his name got turned to G-Man from G Money because he was so money orientated and digits. Digits is his thing, do you know what I'm saying? So he was also in charge in a lot of putting the group songs together. Like, we need to get you on the studio, get you on the studio. So he was like, I need to get everybody on a song. Don't know how I'm gonna do it. Myself, G, and Asher D was sitting at my house, Ashley Waters, and we was there brainstorming, and G just came up, light bulb over his head, like, bring, I've got it. 21 seconds, it works out. I can get everyone on there with 21 seconds. Next day he was in the studio recording. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. He broke it down in seconds. We agreed on it, me and Asher. He brought it to the team. Next day we was in the studio recording. It was a funny process because we wasn't all in the studio at the same time. We was in segments. So all I knew, I was behind Asher. I was next after Asher, wife for the behind. I was I was next behind Asher, and I just knew I had to make a cold lyric because Asher's cold. You know what I mean? He was cold, so I had to make mine cold. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun times. It was fun times, and we knew the song, the beat was so different. We knew it was gonna make noise, so we had to attack it. You know what I'm saying? We had to attack it in the right way. And I think everybody's verse complemented each other. I don't really think there was a weak verse on there, to tell you the truth.
It's actually incredible that you say that, because when I spoke to Arisha Williams from JLS, he actually said that he felt that So Solid Crew should be celebrated in the UK.
Yeah.
For being, entrepreneurial pioneers.
Yeah.
Which I completely agree with.
Yeah. So do I. You know, it's my Hall of Fame. No, originally, thank you to him. I agree with him, to tell you the truth. I think we're undervalued in the UK for what we've done. Not saying that a lot of people have done things in the UK and done heaps bigger than us. And but the thing is, we've shaped a whole generation. We've shaped a whole, and I'm not just talking about the industry. We shaped our, if you look at the UK now, the way people can integrate, the integration that we've made accessible, because we brought the streets to people that were in universities, to people that were in the 1% children. Do you understand what I'm saying? We allowed them, we bridged that gap. And with bridging that gap, we took all the bad press and everything for it, but we was the one that bridged that gap. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
So now you can see people from two different walks of life that would never be in the same room before. Now they're in the same room partying. Now they become friends. Now parents are like, what are you doing with him? Do you know what I'm saying? But this is what we've done. Yeah.
And it's actually incredible that you say that, because I was reading about So Solid Crew and the amount of negative press publicity. It almost seemed like it had, like, they were trying to push a narrative.
Of course.
Of So Solid.
Of course.
So,
do you know, at the time I didn't understand it, but now I can. I'm an adult. I can understand. I can take myself out of the circle and look in. And even as a business owner, with my business, if I've got a certain demographic of people that's just brand new, no one knows what they're capable of. No one knows where this can go.
Yeah,
it's very scary to a corporation. You understand what I'm saying? To corporates is very scary. And then to see that you're dominating the place and you have got the power. We could have power. At the time of So Solid, people were doing crazy stuff. Fans would do crazy stuff. It was almost on a Michael Jackson level. You understand what I'm saying? It was nearly like that, the way fans would move. So with that type of power in the UK, a predominantly white country, to see young black youths have that kind of power and then have no control over them, it's scary. We have to push a narrative now to get rid of these kids.
Yeah, it was crazy because tours got cancelled.
Everything.
And how did that impact you?
It impacted us financially big time. If we were just an ordinary group from the beginning, would have been all game over. But because we had the street smarts and we knew how to maneuver with money, like I said before, economics was good with us, you know what I'm saying? So we managed to survive. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have survived. We would have been ruined, you know what I mean? Because they took away a big tour. We would have been getting 50k each a night for them type of tours, you know what I mean? So big money we lost out on. And then it came with it was the stereotyping.
Yeah.
Because we was stereotyped and penalised for things that we've never even done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For things that happen at our events that was nothing to do with us, which happen at anywhere. You can go to a rock event and a rock event. I'm saying rock event. A rock event, and something could happen.
Mm.
It's not the rock people's fault. It's an event.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I just want to go back on the point of the Michael Jackson level of fame, because it's it goes around one of my questions, because you had as much fame as like top Premiership footballers at So Solid Crew's peak.
1,000,000%.
So what were some of the challenges you had in terms of that level of fame? And please could you like just kind of like paint a picture, so for my audience that might not know about, you know, the level of fame, to try and give some kind of context. What were you dealing with?
On the bright side of things, it was all right. So some of us already had street fame already, so that we could go anywhere and people knew us anyway. So that part of things was nothing. But when you go to somewhere and you've got some posh, rich white man now calling you sir and opening the door for you, it's a whole different level of mindset. You know what I mean? And then you've got people running around and doing all these type of things for you, and then you're seeing, for standing and doing something that you love, your passion, you're getting crazy checks for. It's a whole different level of life, you know what I mean? And then just being able to just get up one morning and say, you know, I feel like I need to go and buy something, and just be able to do that without having to do some mad crime or something else. It was a blessing in disguise for us, you know what I mean? It was such a blessing that you could help your family and help everybody else. So in that factor, it was great. But then as I said, the penalization and the negative, what you got from it as well. We're all lovely people. We would go to countries and do performances and be out there for 6 months, and we make friends with the whole island. We let them into the club. People that work on the island, we let them into our events for free. It's only the tourists that pay. If you live on the island and you work on the island, come to our events for free. These same people would still turn around and then see us one day like, and then when you walk up, start slagging you off, swearing at you, and do you know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things we was going through. But because we're in the limelight, we can't react how we would have reacted back in the days. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then the one times that maybe 1 or 2 members did react, it just made it catastrophically worse for us, you know what I'm saying?
And I think that's an incredible point you make there, because, you know, when you have like a brand image, and especially when you're in the corporate world, sometimes it can feel like you have to live up to a certain pedestal or a certain image that, you know, people would expect you to live up to.
Definitely.
From a mental health perspective, how did that kind of impact, you know, I can only ask you because I'm interviewing you, but how did that impact you that you had to kind of put on this image the whole time?
No, do you know what? That's one thing. None of us, I can't say none of us, there's 1 or 2 members that might have put on the image. But if you know me, I've never changed who I am. I would never suppress myself or succumb to anything else. I don't deal with peer pressure. As I said, I'm an innovator. I've always been a leader. I would never ever conform. So there's no act. It's just knowing how to conduct yourself. That's it. And that's in anywhere in life. You should know how to conduct yourself.
Yeah.
In any state you walk in any room you walk in, you should know how to conduct yourself. You should be able to read the room, assess the room, and know how to conduct yourself accordingly. You know what I mean?
That's brilliant. And you know, Harvey talked on the Winners Talking podcast about, you know, how So Solid Crew kind of like is still around, but it was much bigger in the past. Like there was a lot more members.
Yeah.
What aspects of, you know, So Solid Crew in terms of like the chemistry and different members was maybe different behind the scenes that, you know,
what made us shrink?
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? It wasn't because the core members are still here.
Yeah.
It's the core members that was always been there are still here. It's just we had a lot of people behind the scenes and tag-alongs, and people were just bringing in because they were our friend. And do you know what I mean? So it made up the numbers. So we had people that were signed to us, repping So Solid, but it wasn't So Solid.
Yeah.
They were their individuals. They were their own entity. But because they always were with So Solid, it just looked like we had the massive numbers. And then we would have people like T-Dubs, that was Oxide's brother, and Gillard, and so much other people like that working with us, even Dreddy. So much artists and producers and engineers, and just the guy that's doing flyers, working with the team. And now it's just shrank down to the core members again. So you know as they say, in the beginning, so it should be in the end. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense.
That's it.
And I also know that, you know, So Solid Crew and Dizzee Rascal, I know that there's a bit of a history there, a bit of a feud. How did that whole feud come about?
Just something silly. I just really think it was, to tell you the truth, I think, you know, a lot of incidents that really happened with So Solid, I think I could prevent a lot of them, to tell you the truth, because that situation, it's a bravado thing. And yeah, he's a little kid. He touched Lisa's bum. He did something that was wrong. But escalating to what it didn't need to happen at all. He's a little kid. He did something wrong. Pull him aside, talk to him. You know what I mean? Let him know he done something wrong. Talk to the elder geezer he's with. Tell him, listen, mate, sort him out, innit? That's it. And I would have, because in Iron Appa, Wiley, Flo Dunn, Maxwell D, they're my boys. They used to roll with me in Iron Appa. Yeah. I used to bring them everywhere and get them into clubs and into venues and put them on stages. You know what I'm saying? Because Iron Appa was our place. So when they came, they rolled with me, and I brought them into places and got them into clubs, and you know what I'm saying? So I definitely could have got that squashed. You know what I mean? But I was ill at the time. Yeah. I had the flu. And I was in Iron Appa, but I had the flu at the time, so I was in the bed. But it just escalated from, as I said, him touching her bottom, and escalated. A little scrap happened outside. Then it just escalated from there. Pointless, really, as I said. Very pointless.
Thank you for sharing that. And, you know, So Solid Crew are incredible. Like the genius that you have, and also So Solid Crew. I wanted to particularly ask, you know, being, you know, the group that it is now and the success that it's had, what advice would you probably give to artists that are, you know, trying to make it in the music industry in this age?
Well, in this age, I was about to say that because I was going to say the game's changed a lot. The game's changed a lot. But in this age, you know what it is? You just got to have integrity. Yeah, as we spoke about earlier, we've got to have integrity. You've got to almost have tunnel vision. Never take no for an answer. Yeah, and just practice and home in on your craft and just keep. Consistency is the key. And the biggest thing in the industry today, in any industry, any business, 90%, you got to make sure you turn up. 90% of the business is turning up. Yeah. Yeah, so from when they do that, you're good to go. And just make sure you get the lawyers. Get the lawyers, man.
So, in terms of your own career, what are the biggest lessons you've learned in terms of longevity?
My biggest, for me, is always to follow my gut feeling. Because even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And it's been proven. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So I'm always going to follow my gut feeling. And it was I'm a people's person. I'm like, in my former life, I'm known as the gatherer of the tribes.
Yeah.
So I bring people from different walks together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got to learn how to differentiate which people I need to bring to the finish lines and which ones not to. That's what I had to learn, because I was willing to bring in anybody, and sometimes it's not good for you.
Yeah.
So that was one of my hardest lessons I had to learn.
I think that's quite a deep one too, because I can imagine, you know, when you have a huge level of success and fame, a lot of people want to tag along and kind of, you know, take things from you because, you know, you're successful.
Yeah, sure.
So,
1,000,000%.
So at what point in your journey did you kind of, you know, make the decision that I'm going to do what's right for me, I'm not going to try and help everybody and anyone?
It just comes to you when it's just like enough is enough, and it's like you can always be there for everybody, but sometimes when you need someone to be there for you, your corner's empty.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you always secure your corner, and then you can always be there for everybody else still. You know what I mean? And that's the type of person I am. I'm not a person, I don't hold grudges or nothing like that. I'm a Saji, so I do love with my heart in it. You know what I mean? If you're in with me, you're in for life. If you hurt me, I'll just cut you off and you'll never see me and I'll never talk to you again. I don't hold grudges. You know what I mean? That's how I deal with things, you know what I mean? Yeah, so.
Yeah, I really respect that. So you also have a lot of your own entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So talk to more audience about your businesses.
Do you know what? Where can I start? Do you know what? I don't stop, to tell you the truth. I really don't stop. So my deepest passion is cooking, right? So soon I've got the cooking program coming soon. So watch out for that. Yeah, Cooking with Mac, watch out for that. Watch out for that, it's coming. Also, we have Multiverse Foundation, which is a charity that we started, and it's for, you name it, we work with every type of charity. We work with the homeless, we work with the young. We also have workshops. That's from my studio that I built, hand-built, literally hand-built. Yeah, Multiverse Studios. And then we have the Multiverse Recordings. We've got artists signed to that as well. And we're just trying to mentor and just elevate, bring the children through. We work with a lot of charities like Neat Foundation, Macmillan, Helping Others UK. So yeah, it's that really, and just trying to now go and start doing some talks at schools and colleges, just pushing to different levels. We do events, we've got brands, you know, we don't stop. We don't stop.
And talk to me a bit about Multiverse, because you have artists signed to your label. So could you tell me a bit about your artists?
Yeah, so we got we've got a nice roster, to tell you the truth. We've got a very nice roster. Different type of artists. We've got some models. We've got even a stunt double we signed the other day. So yeah, we're signing, we're open for signing, so check out Multiverse Foundations, Multiverse Studios all day long, every day. But we've got Self Mauve, he's like a wavy artist. He does do you know D Block Europe? Yes. He's similar to them. Okay. Yeah, he's up and coming, young talent, really good. We've got Towels, she's more like a female hardcore rap from the streets kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. We've got singers like Harrison, he does a lot of ballad singer, you know what I mean? So yeah, we've got a big strong roster there, man. We've got lots of artists on there pushing, trying to bring them to the next level. Thank you so much for sharing that, and just even following on from that, you know, you've done so much, like even throughout your career. So one thing that I'd like to ask you is that if there was one person you could probably collaborate with in the future, what would be your ideal collaboration and why? Well, Are you talking musically?
Musically.
Okay, musically. Do you know who I would like to work with? I would like to work with Dr. Dre.
Okay.
The reason why I say Dr. Dre is because I'm the biggest Tupac fan ever. I've been the biggest Tupac fan ever until I became a bigger fan of myself. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's the type of music he made for Tupac. I would love someone with that type of production.
It makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And could there ever be a third So Solid Crew album?
I would love there to be. I'm game, but some of the other members might not be so game. But yeah, definitely, it would be a good thing. It would be nice. I'd love to see what we produce in this day and age. You know what I mean? Where the mindsets are at and what we try to push out to see where people are really at. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I'll do it. That's what I would do it personally, to see where people's mindsets are at and what you're trying to achieve with it.
Yeah, 'cause I was always really interested about that, because your first album was so successful it went platinum.
Yeah.
And then your second album was still successful. It wasn't as successful as the first, but I was just thinking about the third one. Like the third one, I think that, you know, it could, in this day and age.
It was slap. It was slap, especially because if we wasn't stupid, because if I was to do an album, I would obviously bring in some of the new talents that are around as well onto the album. I think that would be the greatest album if we bring in some of the new talents on the tracks with Soul Solid. It would be crazy. Crazy.
And if I'm correct, I believe that So Solid Crew was signed to a record label, am I?
Yeah, Relentless and Independiente.
And do you feel like at the time, I don't know like how it is being signed to a record label, but because like the second album, I think it was slightly different from the first. Like it was more American, if I can say that.
But you got to understand, with Soul Solid, the labels never had no say.
Okay.
With nothing we did. They never had no say. They said, for please boys, can you behave? That's all they had. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, can you... They never had no say with us.
Yeah.
We did everything off our own back.
Yeah.
We was doing it already before we had the label, so they couldn't have no say when they came to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they built us and we had there to build us. We was already doing. So regardless if he was here, we was going to carry on doing what he was doing anyway. So they just helped bring it to a broader scale of people, you know what I mean? So that second album, you gotta understand, most of us come from hip-hop, come from rap, we come from dancehall, we come from this. So that's what we grew up seeing. There wasn't no garage and do you know what I'm saying? So really and truly, that's where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
We wanted to be rappers. We wanted to be maybe dancehall. We didn't want to be garage. And our lifestyle that we lived more suit the rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It sat with the rap. It was unison, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of went that direction with it. So it was nothing to do with the labels. It was just ourselves. But I think we could have, even though it was a good album, I think we could have just executed it a bit better when I look back at it now. Yeah.
I think also, you know, even now, I think that So Solid Crew, because you've all matured as well, a third album would be brilliant in a sense, because I don't think that some of the issues when, you know, people first come into fame and, you know, they're younger, that now that you're more mature, but you still all have massive followings.
Yeah. But it's gone, like, now we're more mature. It's gone from baby mama dramas to grandchildren dramas and stuff. I'm joking. I'm only joking.
You made me break character there.
Told you, we had to make it happen, innit?
So please tell me a bit about the next chapter of your career and ultimately your legacy as well.
So, something I didn't mention, at the multiverse, my children play a big hand in the multiverse. Okay. My son, he's an artist management. Yeah. And my daughter is basically everything. Do you know, my oldest daughter, she's basically everything. She's she's very much so hands-on with everything, especially when I'm not about. She can just take care of everything, you know what I mean? So they're well trained. And the legacy is to maintain something for my family and from my peers and even my children's peers, to have something that is concrete, that they can get income from, and that we can hire people from, and we can give jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you see what the state of the world is like at the moment, and when you come from a certain creed or colour, it's hard to get jobs.
I agree.
No matter what anybody wants to say.
Yeah.
With qualifications or not. My daughter, she's got a fair enough good job. She got all her qualifications. My son isn't in a job at the moment. He works for me, but he's got the sick qualifications.
Yeah.
He finds it hard to get a job.
Yeah.
Sick qualification. You understand what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people that's got sick qualifications and can't get a job.
Yeah. Or
not the job that the equivalent job to their education.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Or to their degrees. They can't get that equivalent.
Yeah.
They're getting such a lower rated job. Do you know what I mean? So we want that. We want if you can build a community that we can make money go in that one community, everyone can feed each other, and you make up your little own economy going, you know what I mean? And it's legal. It's not, you're not doing nothing illegal. And you can bring in anybody. It's not just to a certain, we're not segregated.
Yeah.
It's open to anybody.
I mean, I fully agree with you there, Mac. I mean, I know that probably not everybody would agree with me, but I've seen, discrimination in the workplace and, people from our background not getting where they should be.
I'm telling you.
So, I know that not everyone's going to like me saying that, but oh well.
It's the truth. You can't, do you know what? You can't hide from the truth,
Yeah.
You can never hide from the truth, and no matter how bitter it might taste on someone's tongue, because it's bitter on my tongue, I don't like to say it. It's bitter. But it's the truth.
Yeah. And why do you think initiatives not just multiverse, but also So Solid Crew, because somebody from the ends, some of them don't see a route out. They
don't, and this is why I stand strong on. And at the moment, I'm mentoring at least 11 children. Not I wouldn't say children, young adults. I'll say I'm mentoring them. A lot of them suffer from ADHD and anxiety, and even some of them are autistic. But you would never know. You would never know. It's only when they come and you can see that they're facing certain problems and certain issues, and just feeling comfortable with themselves to just be among different peers and be in certain situations. Some of my artists as well are going through. I mentor some of the artists that are going through certain times, and when they come through the other end, they come back to me and say, "Bro, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what I'd be doing." That feeling alone is such an achievement for me. So I don't charge nothing. I'm not charging them. You know what I mean? It's just that feeling for me that I know that now your path is a bit more clear for you. That's what I'm about. I'm helping them see a clearer vision to the route of where they're trying to go. You know what I mean?
And what kind of inspires you to do that? Because not everybody who has achieved your level of success with So Solid Crew, or even whether they're a rapper or a sports star, would even care about taking on young people from their community. So why do you do it?
Do you know what? Because it was a struggle for me.
Right.
I was a very, very naughty child.
Yeah.
So I was the child that all my friends weren't allowed to hang around with. Their parents don't hang around with him today. I was that guy. So being that guy, the odds were always against me, basically. I'm always the underdog. I was always the underdog, you know what I mean? So no one went throwing out no handouts for me and help. I had to go and get everything I've had in my whole life. Even like this, to the smallest things, I had to carry myself on holidays. I'm not saying nothing bad about our parents because I love my parents, but in my whole life I think I've been on holiday maybe twice. But my sisters have been like a million times. You know what I'm trying to say is I had to go and get it myself. So I've always been that underdog, and I believe there's a million of them out there, a million of me out there, and if they're in my reach and I can do something to help them, that's what I want. Because just like everyone said, don't this, he's bad, he's that. Look at me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not no devil. I haven't done no crazy stuff. I haven't killed nobody. I haven't done no. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we could all change. There's like, I believe in second chances. And with that, even the first chance, because some people don't even get a first chance.
Yeah, I really like that. So, what prompted you in your life to kind of say, you know what, regardless of what everybody thinks about me, I'm gonna make sure that I'm a success?
Do you know what? It sounds mad. I'm not gonna say it like. I'm not. Everyone I know, in their own right, is a success, and I'm talking people that ain't even in the music industry. So, and especially for my block, it was renowned for being kind of successful. Everybody, there's no one that came from my era that isn't successful today, that I know in one way or another, whether they do properties or they just do music or they're successful in one way or another. So I think if we just born like that and just knew that we was gonna be, we had to make it to be that. It's one way or another, you know what I mean? It's one way or another. It's either flip burgers, be on the street doing crime, or make it. Which one would you prefer? Serious, which one would you prefer?
I'd probably say make it.
That's it. So
I was laughing actually because no one's ever asked me a question before.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me a question, I'm like, you caused me to break character at least twice during this interview.
That's good.
I know you run your own football team as well.
Yeah, Multiverse Foundation charity team.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, because I came up, I never really played football as a child.
Okay.
I didn't really like football. I loved it at first, but then I went so off of it. It's more my brother's sport. But seeing the effect and the amount of charity that raise money and for proper sick causes, you know what I'm saying, for proper sick causes, and these seeing it's very communal. It's families come out, kids are there, they have food, it's what's missing. We need more of that kind of communal space, them communal spaces and events that you can have your whole family there and it finishes at a reasonable time and everyone's back at home at a reasonable time. And it gives you a chance to keep fit. If you've got any type of creed, any size, there's no rules basically, except for play fair and just come and have a good time.
I like that.
So that's why we've decided that we wanted to get involved and really go for it, because it brings families together, and I'm loving that. It gives opportunities for you to put on events, and as I said, you can hire people now, and these are all you're not hiring corporates to come and put on the food and put on the bouncing castles and these type of things. You're hiring independent people, freelancers, and people that are just coming from an ordinary person and creating jobs as well. You know what I mean? So it's just works out all the way around, man. And it's such a good feeling. Even though you're dead the day after, I can't really play because I got very bad back. I suffer from bad back nowadays, sciatica. So yeah, it's lovely though, man. It is lovely. Yeah. I'm just playing one more match to get that sick picture when I'm and they got me, and then I'm out.
And do you think it's coming home this year for England?
Boy, what do I say?
If you say the right thing, you'll go viral.
I know.
If you don't, you'll probably still go viral.
Nah. Don't think it's coming on. Nah, it's not coming on.
Well,
I know they got a fair chance.
And one of the last questions I'd like to ask you is, if you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Advice to my younger self. I would have advice to my younger self: work harder and stack until you're at least 40. Stack every penny. Don't forget everything else. You don't need nothing until you reach 40. Everything you thought you need, you don't need until you reach 40. When you reach 40, life starts kicking. Yeah, everything happens. Kids get older, everything. That's when you need it. Yeah, so stack until you're 40. Then you can live that life. Any car you want, anything you want. You understand?
Yeah.
Even though we did it from early, but imagine I stacked all that money instead of buying it on cars and doing all this. You know what I mean? Until I was 40. Crazy.
I think I was listening to what you said, and I know that, children legacy is a big thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
So how has kind of becoming a father kind of changed your whole approach to success, what it means to be successful?
Do you know what? The fatherhood came around the same time as So Solid for me. My first daughter, I was 19. So it changed my life altogether, my outlook at everything. I think maybe if I had a son first, it may not have. Because I would have still moved in a certain way. But when I had a daughter, it made me think to myself, you know what? You can't afford for certain things to happen when you're walking down the street with your daughter. You can't afford for police to be pulling up beside you, like, trying to arrest you. You got your young daughter. You can't afford for enemies trying to come and get you. You got your daughter. You know what I'm trying to say? So you got to start moving in a whole different mindset. And with that mindset, I just believe you just start growing up quick. And then I had a second daughter and just even leveled me up even more. You know what I mean? So really and truly, it just makes you more wise. And then you just get, as you start having more kids, you're just thinking, you know what, this is not even for me no more. What I'm out here for is not even for me again, it's for them. And not even for them, it's for their kids. So you now got to start trying to set some stuff into stone. You know what I mean?
I really like that. So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, because you're just giving me so much content and you're giving me so many brilliant answers that I want to keep asking you questions.
Yeah, no problem.
So, in your opinion, coming from So Solid Crew, what do you think are some of the artists that you think are some of the hottest in the game right now?
In the game? Well, I always say it, even though he's not actually on the street at the moment. I don't know if I should mention. Yeah, I'm gonna mention him anyway. I don't care. Free Gets, even though what he done was stupid. But Gets, for me, I always say underrated and one of the coldest spitters in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so much now. We've got, like, as I said, we've got all the ones on my roster that's coming up. We've got Crazy, Mix. This little girl is crazy. I brought her out to Butlins and she tore it down. Even my eldest son, Polo, he's going crazy at the moment. We've got Self Morph, we've got F, we've got J and Stacks. I can't even, like, there's the new, she's not even new, but we've got Catch, she's cold. You've got, there's so much, the list goes on, man. The D-Block, there's so much of them, man. I'm not a hater. If the talent's good, I'm going to give ratings, you get me? So I think the industry is good at the moment. It's nice. I just think all the coonery and the stupid stuff, the gang stuff, that the violence and that, it doesn't need to be necessary no more, man. When there's money out here to get made, you know what I mean? And if you do it right and just turn your corporate head on, you can just do it right, man. You don't need to do all that other stuff.
I really like that answer, Mac, and just thank you so much for a great interview. It's been
thank you,
excellent.
Man. It's my pleasure, man. Trust me. Thank you for letting me get some stuff off my chest. You know what I mean? And just letting people see my insight. You get me? Because I think from most interviews you get from So Solid, people get a certain kind of insight, and from what they can build off the insight, it's that it could be just scrambled a bit. It's not to what the core is. You might paint everyone with the same brush, and some of us are really thinking out here, you know what I mean? It's not about bravados or nothing like that. So, yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's about the people, you know what I mean?
Thank you.